What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. As you can tell from the intro, this is a themed video where we have all New Orleans Saints players. So let me just jump right into this first one. And it is postmarked from Washington State. And it is 404 from former Saints running back Rueben Mayes on 1, 2, a third 1,000-yard club, and a fourth 1,000-yard club. The Sharpie isn't the best that he signed in. And this one you can barely see the signature, so unfortunately that one didn't show up real well, but it is there. But the other three do look pretty decent, despite the swoosh and the Sharpie there. So let me tell you about Canadian-born Rueben Mayes and his career in college and the NFL. Born in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, Canada, Rueben Mayes attended college at Washington State University. While at Washington State, he was recognized as a consensus All-American and finished 10th in the Heisman Trophy voting in 1984. Mayes set single-season and career rushing records for the school at 1,632 in a season and 3,519 total, and established an NCAA record for most rushing yards in one game, 357, at Oregon in 1984. This record would stand until broken by Kadeem Carey in 2012. Mayes was selected in the third round, 57th overall in the 1986 NFL Draft by the New Orleans Saints. He was also selected second overall in the CFL, Canadian Football League Draft, by his hometown Saskatchewan Roughriders, but never played in the CFL. He chose to sign with the Saints, and he won the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year award that year from the Associated Press. And although his career was hampered by injuries, he was named to the Pro Bowl 2 times during his career. His first year in 1986, he popped onto the scene with the Saints, and he rushed for over 1,000 yards. In 1987, he didn't quite make the 1,000 mark. Despite that, Top still gave him a card, but he instead rushed for 917 yards that year for the Saints. The following year, in 1988, he would appear in 16 games, but only would rush for 628 yards that year, scoring just 3 touchdowns. Well, in 1989, he did not play at all, as he was completely injured that season. And he tried to come back in 1990, but only appeared in 15 games that year, almost matching his total from 1988 by 510 yards rushing. Well, after the 90 season with another injury, he decided to move back home to Seattle and sign with the Seahawks, where he appeared in 16 games for the Seahawks, just rushing for 74 yards. The following year, in 1993, he would appear in only one game for the Seahawks, accumulating just 2 yards. Well, after the 93 season, he would retire, and he would go back to college and finish his degree. He would earn his master's in business administration at WSU, and he would become a chief development and external relations officer for a regional hospital in Washington. So, despite having just a small period of time that he was in the NFL, Mr. Mayes went back to college, finished up his degree, and became an executive in a hospital post-playing career with his master's in business administration. So, very happy to add Mr. Mayes to the collection. All right, so this next one is postmarked from Florida, and it is former New Orleans State wide receiver Ike Harris, Isaiah Harris on 1, 2. A third is the St. Louis Cardinal football player, and a fourth is a Saint as well. So let me tell you about Ike Harris and his college and pro football career. Ike Harris grew up in Arkansas, where he attended high school, and later went to Iowa State University, where he played college football. He would join the short-lived World Football League in 1974 right after college. The World Football League only lasted a season and a half, where he played for the Southern California Sun. Well, after his time with the Southern California Sun, The St. Louis Cardinals drafted him in 1974 in the fourth round with the 91st overall pick, and from 1975 to 77, he became a member of the St. Louis Cardinals football team. For the Cardinals, he primarily would be a starter after his first year with the team, appearing in 12 games his second year and 14 games his third year. But despite having almost a career year at 782 yards receiving in 1976, the Cardinals decided to let him go after the 77 season, where he was with the New Orleans Saints. Well, he would spend 5 seasons total with the New Orleans Saints, appearing in 48 games for the Saints. So basically, he appeared in 8 more games for the Saints than he did as the Cardinals. So you could say that he pretty much split his career with the Cardinals. Total in his career, he appeared in 88 games, starting in 79 of those. He had 16 career touchdowns as a wide receiver. And he was part of those Saints and Cardinals teams of the 70s that were, I don't want to say mediocre, that's a strong word, but they were good, but they weren't Super Bowl good. So Harris was a very important part of both of those franchises for a few years during his career. Well, post-playing career, just like Rueben Mayes, Harris went back to college and finished up his degree, and he actually became the president of Bell South Enterprises and was named one of the 75 most powerful African Americans in corporate America by Black Enterprise magazine. So after his playing career, he had a huge successful career in business working for Bell South and also Cigna as well. So this is another example of a guy that played in the NFL for the time that he did, and he went on and had a second career, post-playing career. So very happy to add Mr. Harris to the collection as well. All right, so this final one is postmarked from Missouri, and if you're a New Orleans Saints fan, you're going to really appreciate this guy. That is a return from former running back Tony Galbreath on 1, a record breaker number 2. We're going to talk about that in a second. A third, and also the team card. So another one of these team cards to try to get signed. So let me tell you about Tony Galbreath and his career in the NFL and in college football. Galbreath was born in Missouri, where he attended high school, then later went on to play for the University of Missouri for the Big 8 Missouri Tigers at the time. He was elected team captain in 1975 and still ranks among the Missouri Tigers' all-time leading rushers, despite the fact that he just played 2 years with them, because the previous first 2 years he was in a junior college in Iowa. Galbreath was a rookie in 1976 with the New Orleans Saints and was part of the Thunder and Lightning backfield along with Saints first-round pick Chuck Muncie. Galbreath quickly became one of the top pass-catching running backs in the NFL. As a rookie, he was the NFL's 6th leading receiver in 1978. His third season with the Saints, he finished second in the NFL in receiving. He played with the Saints for 5 seasons, and then when he left the Saints, he ranked second all-time on rushing yards for the team. Galbreath was traded to the Minnesota Vikings in 1981. He played 3 seasons for the Vikings, primarily as a pass-catching back and a blocker. Galbreath went on to the New York Giants in 1984, essentially fulfilling the same role. He played 4 seasons with the Giants, including the 1986 season in which the Giants won the Super Bowl. He retired after the 87 season as the most prolific pass-catching running back in NFL history, next to Walter Payton. Galbreath was enshrined in the University of Missouri Athletics Hall of Fame in 1995. He was enshrined in the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame in 91. And in 2013, he was enshrined in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in Missouri. So in total, this is, one of the best pass-catching NFL running backs in the history of the game. This is him depicting the 1978 record for most catches by a rookie, this card there. By the time his career ended, him and Walter Payton, one of the greatest running backs ever to play the game, held that record. And Payton actually, I believe, has 2 extra, receptions than Galbreath. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm very happy to add Mr. Rueben Mayes to the collection because I had never gotten him before. I've actually gotten none of these gentlemen before. You know, very happy to get Ike Harris, and Ike signed the cards all in a good spot, so his signature shows up really nice. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Another football return with some vintage football cards. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, happy collecting.